Lord, I thank you for this moment. Thank you for this opportunity to be together, to share together with each other and with everyone else. May the words of our mouth and our hearts speak truly of you, represent you, and not of ourselves, and impact the lives of other people, and including us as well. Thank you for the many blessings and abundance. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I am here with my husband, aka Hubby Bear, Garry G.
What's up, good people?
Okay, so in this episode, so today we're going to talk about this shoot that we did for my recent bridal piece. I can't even call it a collection. I just do a piece sometimes. Like sometimes I'll do a collection and then sometimes I'll just do a piece. And so I did a piece, and it's the first bridal piece that I've done, I think since after the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, since 2020.
I thought you was doing pieces.
I had the veils, and then I did like 2 dresses that were really just to be shot with the veils, but yeah, this is my first wedding gown design since like 2019, I believe. Yeah, 2019.
I didn't even realize that. Wow, it's been a while.
So this is my post-pandemic comeback.
We here now.
Right.
And we got some heavy hitters.
For those of you who don't know, my husband and I have been working together on shoots, you know, doing marketing and branding, not just for our businesses, but for other brands. So just to let y'all know, if you don't know.
We've been doing it for years, actually.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
Like 10 years.
It feels longer than that. Yeah, we've been doing this for a while.
Right. Now you guys probably know what I do, but my husband does a lot. My husband is not only a photographer, but he also is a music producer and a film producer as well, amongst other things. But all of my shoots, every image that you basically see, all of the extraordinary images were shot by this man, the man, Garry G. As well as the graphics. So he's taught me what I know about graphics and about editing and video production. Like even this, like I really wouldn't be doing this if he didn't really like show me the ropes. Like God led me, and I'm like, oh wait, I have a great example at home and someone that can help me actually produce content. And so I learned a lot about content production and just really how images for the sake of commerce should come together and how things should be put together. And so there's a lot that we both bring to the table, and we've been doing this again for not just our brands but for other brands since before we were married.
It was a natural merging of creativity.
Yeah.
That just made sense. So it's the marriage, it's the unity of one creative person with another, and we bump heads at times, but the most important thing is to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's never, I never try to trump her in creativity. I allow her to do what she is created to do, and what she's skilled and talented at doing in her lane, her channel. And I believe she allows the same for me to just, you know, thrive in my lane as well. Just like any other team, if there's disagreements, go to the conference table, the conference room, and we're gonna figure it out.
So about this shoot, so there was a location, I will not name the location.
Yeah.
Interesting story. So Gary's like, Dominique, you gotta see this spot. He shows it to me online. I won't say the website that he showed it to me on, but anyway, he showed me this location, and I'm like, babe, we shooting there. That's where we shooting. And he's like, we gotta go scout it out though first. Like my husband's like very super, like he's about the things. Like we're gonna go scout it out. We're gonna make the list of, you know, we're gonna make the shot list. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah.
I just like to be prepared somehow or another.
And I'm kind of like gorilla style sometimes, you know. I mean, I can be very orderly and organized, and then sometimes I'm just like, let's go for it, let's execute. And so we balance each other out.
Hold on. Don't make it seem as if I'm not down for the gorilla style. I'm down for the gorilla style. But when you about to go do a gorilla style, you gotta know how to be prepared to do what a gorilla gotta do in the jungle.
How you gonna prepare for gorilla style? How?
You send somebody out in the field and say, yo, go check this out. Let me know what it look like. Come back. Do. All right, we know how to move.
Well, the checkout was digitally.
We checked it out. We did what we had to do. We did the homework.
Okay, so we saw this spot, and I'm like, babe, that's what we shooting. Like, that's it. That's where we going. So the model was a friend of ours from church. Her name is Danielle. Amazing. Like, she just gets on camera and she's just like, bam.
Turns on.
Bam. Like she don't even try too hard. Like that girl like breathes, and it's an epic photo. So shout out to Danielle.
Fantabulous.
Yeah. So that was our model, and also the makeup artist was Celeste Appeal. Amazing job. Shout out to
she did
Cherise.
a really great job.
Yeah. And very tasteful makeup, nothing too crazy, but again, she did an amazing job.
Classy, tasteful. It wasn't boring. It wasn't over the top. It was just perfect. The sweet spot. She hit all the sweet spots.
Yeah. And also our behind the scenes creative director and assistant creative director, Winnie. Shout out to Renaissance Win. Amazing job.
Extraordinary talented, multi-talented.
Yeah.
Designer, creator, leader, sister.
Great visionary.
Some of the challenges about the shoot. Somewhat number one, uncertainty of what you're going to encounter on the actual scene, because it's a public facility and
but it's private at the same.
It's public and it's private, and you have to know how to move with wisdom, intelligence, and respect. Those things will get you a long way.
And we got favored too.
Yeah, I wanted to say that earlier, that majority of our on-location shoots have been favored. They have been extraordinarily special, supernaturally special, in my opinion. So some of the challenges were daylight, like the harsh sunlighting for me for camera work. Also, like I said, the time limit, the temperature, the weather, because it was a hot day, a very hot day. So you never want to have your model outside for extraordinarily hours without the proper shading or even taking care of them. We're having adequate hydration or water on deck for them to be comfortable. There was no air conditioning because we were outside. There was wind, but it was hot wind.
And then there was the people, because
the onlookers. Sometimes
not even just onlookers, but people who were there to shoot as well.
The other people who are excited about the location just as us, and they're gawking and they're trying to see what we're doing and mimicking some of what we're doing, or you might feel their energy, their attitude building up, like, oh, why are they taking up so much space? Because I was born to take up space, baby. Anyway, we were born to take up space, and good space at that.
Yeah, honestly, it was a lot. It was a lot. Like, after a while, I checked out.
Hold on. Before you checked out. So another somewhat challenge was that we also had our youngest baby on board, on the set. Young Noah, he was with us. How old is Noah?
1.
He's 1, okay? He's 1. No, I didn't say because I know. I want you to say it.
Oh, you wanted to emphasize it.
He's a 1-year-old that was strapped to his mama's back the entire shoot, right? So picture that.
It wasn't a long shoot though. Let's just say
it wasn't a long shoot, but come on, let's be real. Also, we're there to do serious business. but we had to bring the baby to work.
We got there at just the right time because we got there right before like other people got there to shoot, and so we were able to get in. And then like one of the property owners came by. He's like, "Hey, what you guys doing?" So my husband, spoke to the property owner, and he allowed us to shoot in a space that most people that showed up did not have access to, or really just took access to. But he was super cool, and
we got permission.
Yeah, we got permission. The owner was expressing his frustration with people just showing up on their property. He'd be in his kitchen making breakfast, and there's people like on his balcony just taking pictures, and he's just like, and so I intended for us to just literally just shoot on the sidewalk, but the property owner.
I had other plans, which is why you want to scout your location so you know how to move.
All right.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, so while we were shooting in front of the area on the sidewalk where it is public, right? The property owner came out, and he was asking questions. Garry does what he does or whatever, and we're just honest, like, hey, and so the property owner is like, all right, where would you guys really want to shoot? And so he gave us access, which was amazing. And we had a few minutes to just knock it out the park. And I mean, between Garry and Danielle,
I really stress the importance of location scouting. If you're doing this thing for real and not as a hobby, whether you're just just the type of adventurous person to say, hey, let's just go do a thing. Use your intelligence and use your wisdom. You utilize wisdom, the access to wisdom, because having certain types of conversations with certain people in the best way possible can open so much more doors for you. We want to take advantage of an opportunity, but in the best and most respectful way. So you got to be quick on your toes, yes, and also be mindful to respect people's property, their time, and also just their space.
Yeah.
So just that.
Yeah, and not be afraid to ask. I've struggled with that, like already like assuming what the answer is gonna be.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I am talking about it. Just being afraid, and already answering the question before I even ask it, like, oh, they're gonna say no, or like, and there's so many times where I like pushed myself, or God pushed me, or Garry pushed me to just ask, and the answer was yes, but I would have never got the yes if I didn't ask. So
and sometimes let's keep it real too, you might not get a yes.
Yeah.
And you might be discouraged, but I think the win in it is that you made the effort to ask. You made the effort to push and give birth to something. You got over yourself. It's important to get over yourself, and don't be afraid of being looked upon as vulnerable, so to speak. Again, don't let people take advantage of you. However, you gotta see, almost like double dutch, see your way through when you're gonna jump in.
Yeah.
And then just jump.
And sometimes it's really pride, that doesn't allow you to ask. I can say that because it just is what it is. I battled with it, right? It's pride where you don't want people to know you need help, right? You don't want to ask for help. A lot of it has to do with pride, if we're honest. But God has been dealing with me on that. It was like it's okay to be in need of help, and it's okay to ask. And you never know what favor you're going to get by asking. You don't know what God has for you when you ask, and not just asking Him, because then we cover up our pride by just going to God. But God most times answers us through people. Like we're each other's answer.
And I'd say put some confidence on your ask. Even though you're uncertain, what I mean by that, don't just approach a situation 100% timid. Like, take a breath and be like, listen, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna say this. Listen, I don't know how this works, So I'm asking you for your help. How does this work? Can I do so and so? Is it possible that Are there any limitations?
Is you're being bold and upfront and honest,
respectful,
but respectful and not entitled. You know,
that's good.
Not an entitled approach.
I think that's great. I think these are really great nuggets, gems for us to move forward and discuss this dress.
The dress. I'm all like behind the scenes and the things, you know. Which
is important. But as I said, I'm bigging you up. It's your time. People gotta know. So let's talk about this dress. How did it get designed? What inspired the dress? And then, in your opinion, how did everything work out? How did you feel about how it all came together with the model, makeup artist,
being the hairstylist,
Winnie stylist, like.
Yeah. So the dress was so a lot of times when I'm like in my personal time with God, he also gives me designs, he also gives me ideas. So I'm praying and then I'll start sketching. So I always have pen and paper near me when I'm praying, right? Because God will give me instruction, could be something relating to the kids, you know, our other businesses or designs. And so, you know, I always have pen and paper near me when I'm sleeping, because sometimes they'll tell me stuff in the middle of the night, and while I'm praying. And so the design came, I believe, during one of those times. So I sketched it, and I'm like, I need to make this dress. So the dress is, anybody who's familiar with my aesthetic, it's layers and layers. I like the architecture and like building structures is a huge inspiration for me in how I design. And so I'm big on volume and layers, and I call it the zhuzh. And so I wanted the design to be more rich on detail than it was on bling, because I feel like a lot of wedding dresses depend on more so the lace, and I do have my moments where I'm just like, I need bling, I need lace, but I really wanted the detail of the dress to be like hand done. And so with my wedding gowns, like I really enjoy custom designing gowns for clients, right?
It amazes me that people from across the world will call her or go on the website, order something, and she has this formula of how to get their exact measurements. By the time she's finished with the garment, ship it out, they get it, it fits like a glove. I don't know how. She mastered that.
So, on that note, anything else about the shoot?
Yeah, let's get back to the shoot.
I checked out after a while because I'm like, all of these people and they're like waiting. I felt so much pressure, and then it was hot, and I mean, thank God Noah was good. Like, he was chilling. He's such a good baby. Oh, praise God. But Garry was in his zone. I mean, he was like, man, he was on the floor. Like, he was like, I'm here to work the work. And he worked the work. I mean, you'll see the images, but he worked the work.
If he's not willing to do this to get the shot, fire him.
He applies himself to everything that he does. Like, you know how people will say, like, what is it? Jack of all trades and master of none.
I know.
No. So, yeah. So he was, I mean, they were doing the thing. But as for me, I was just like, all right, I'm sure we got the shot, Garry. I'm like, Garry, I'm sure we got the shot.
Nah, see.
Actually, I mainly kept that to myself. Because once upon a time, young Dominique would have been like, gee, come on, let's go. But after a while, I just learned to if you want a successful marriage, you learn to take it to Jesus, and Jesus will take it to him. And Jesus will lead you as to when to say it and when to keep your mouth shut. I learned over time that he be right. right? And so there are times where I want to rush, I want to move on to the next thing, and he's like, no, this thing has to be done this way. And so I learned to not mess that up. Now there'll be times where I'm right, and you know, we'll recognize that. But I've learned over time to be patient and also respect his process. He respects my process, I respect his process. His process, he's gonna take more time and be maybe more calculated, where I'm more like, and I've learned to be more calculated as well. But that, I just wanted to share that as well, because I think that's important for people, especially married couples. Like, respect each other's process. We're not built the same, you know, we're not the same, we're not meant to be the same, really.
I do my best to just be excellent as possible. She's right. I did get the shot multiple times. However, another key thing for me, and some of y'all creatives, hopefully you take this from me as well. In certain environments where I know I'm more than likely not going to come back here again, just the same way when I'm shooting weddings. You only get to shoot the wedding one time. You only get to shoot the ceremony one time. You only get to capture that kiss or the exchange of rings more than likely one time. You don't have time to stage that or to ask the pastor to say the vows over again. But anyway, being that I knew that was a situation, that this is a extraordinary, exclusive, so to speak, location. So I overshot intentionally because I wanted to make sure that we had a healthy number of images to choose from, instead of coming back to base, going in the studio, and realizing, hey, we should have repositioned, or we should have shifted this, or we should have did that, you know what I mean? Or I should have stopped my camera down a little more, or I should have went up, or I should have been through it enough. Again, I'm talking from years of experience, and also just observation learning. So I intentionally overshot to make sure that we had a healthy selection of images to go through and not be disappointed by anything. We got detailed shots. You need to use detailed shots more, man. The people that want, they need to see, yo, I'm going with the fabric.
Full garment.
She just, I'm a detailed dude. Anyway, can you tell us something,
and
man?
I'm detailed too, but when it comes to the images, I'm just like, give them the whole
and
thing.
you are
give them the whole
she's
thing.
detailed also. So, yo, you need to show some zoom up shots and like, yo, boom. This is the fabric type. This is the stitching type. This is why it costs so much, because this kind of stitch expensive. They stitch them expensive. Yeah, it's dope working with our kids on set. It was really dope having Noah on set as well, which includes some behind the scenes pictures of him in the shots.
Being his cute little self.
Yeah, for me, capturing the moment was exciting. As Dominique expressed earlier, you know, when I get into my zone, I'm in the zone. I'm like locked. You can't move me. And then it's interesting. It's like an unlocking happens. Layers just continue to unlock because I see so many things at one time. I'm so excited, and I get very passionate about what I'm doing, even if it's for $300. That's not my price point though. But I'm just saying, most times it's more than the dollar amount, because I want what I do and what we do to have a long-lasting impact on people's life. It's important that we have a dollar amount or some kind of value, but at the same time, I pray that the things that we do, that God allows us to do, is even more valuable than a dollar amount.
Yeah.
I got to go.
All right. Okay,
But,
Mr. Mogul.
Listen, something that just comes to mind, I'm going to say this. Don't just live your best life, but live your life the best way God wants you to live it.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. You hear what he said? Yeah, take that.
Peace and love, people.
Thanks for watching. Head over to your favorite streaming platform and check out the featured track, Shooting Star by Time, produced by, of course, none other than Garry G.
Keep trying, keep praying from your heart. Go higher and higher. Keep shooting for the stars. No crying, keep trying, keep praying from your